Pet poop can be much more dangerous than you might realize, and this is by Julia Wirtz from The Conversation. Have you ever been out on a walk, and as you walk take that next step, you feel the slippery squish of poop under your foot? It's not just gross, but the mess and the smell is potentially infectious. I remember when I was a biology major at Queen's College, we were told we were taking a course on parasites, and we were asked to collect dog poop specimens from the sidewalks, and under the microscope you won't believe how many parasites are in those poops. Even though the owners, of course, take them to the vet and give them their vaccines every year, they're still there. Now, it's not just gross, beyond the mess and the smell is potentially infectious. That's why signs reminded pet owners to curb your dog and scoop their poop have been joined in some places by posting warnings that pet waste can spread diseases. As a small animal primary care veterinarian, the writer says, I deal with the diseases of dog and cat poop on a daily basis. Feces represent potential zoonotic hazards, meaning they can transmit disease from the animals to the people. The reality is that waste left to wash into the soil, whether in a neighborhood, trail, or dog park, can spread life-threatening parasites not just among dogs and cats, but also to wild animals and people of all ages. In a 2020 study found intestinal parasites in 85% of the off-leash dog parks across the United States. While human diseases caused by soil-transmitted parasites are considered uncommon in the U.S., they infect as many as an estimated billion people worldwide. Signs that remind you to pick up after your pet are not just trying to keep public spaces clean, they're urging you to help safeguard your community's health. Abandoned poops impact on people. Common dog poop parasites include hookworms, roundworms, coccidia, and whipworms. Hookworms and roundworms can thrive in a variety of species, including humans. Their microscopic larvae can get into your body through small scratches on your skin after contact with contaminated soil or via accidental oral ingestion. Remember that next time you're outside and wipe sweat from your face with a dirty hand and then lick your lips or take a drink. It's that simple. After hose or rainwater has rinsed contaminated poop into the soil, these parasite eggs can survive and infect for months or years to come. Once in the human body, both hookworm and roundworm larvae can mature and migrate through the bloodstream into the lungs. From there, coughs help them gain access to the digestive tract of their host, where they leach nutrients by attaching to the intestinal wall. People with healthy immune systems may show no clinical sign of infection, but in sufficient quantities, these parasites can lead to anemia and malnourishment. They can even cause an intestinal obstruction, which may require surgical intervention, especially in young children. Additionally, larva stages of roundworms can move into the human eye and in rare cases lead to permanent blindness. Hookworms can create a severely itchy condition called cutaneous larva migrans as the larva worm moves just under the skin of its host. Once a parasite's life cycle is complete, it may exit the host body as an intact adult worm, which looks like a small piece of cooked spaghetti. The impact on other animals? Dogs and cats can also develop the same symptoms people do due to parasitic infections. In addition to risks of hookworms and roundworms, pets are also vulnerable to whipworm, giardia, and coccidia. Beyond parasites, unattended poop may also be contaminated with canine or feline viruses such as parvovirus, distemper virus, and canine coronavirus that can create life-threatening disease in other dogs and cats, especially in adult animals that are unvaccinated and puppies and kittens. These viruses attack rapidly dividing cells, in particular the intestinal lining and bone marrow, leaving them unable to absorb nutrients appropriately and unable to produce replacement red and white blood cells that help defend against these and other viruses. Vaccination can protect pets. Many species of local wildlife are within the canid and felid family groups. They too are susceptible to many of the same parasites and viruses as pet dogs and cats, while being much less likely to have received the benefit of vaccinations. Coyotes, wolves, foxes, raccoons, minks, and bobcats are at risk of contacting parvovirus, coronavirus, and distemper. Responsible pet poop management. So wherever your dog or cat relieves himself, at the park, in the woods, on the sidewalk, or even in your yard, pick up that poop, but always avoid contact with your skin. It's safest to use a shovel to place the poop directly into a plastic bag, or put a baggie over your hand to grab the poop and then pull the plastic bag over it. While it's tempting to leave the soft serve or watery poop behind, these are often the more likely culprits for spreading diseases. Tie up the bag and make sure to place it in the trash can, not on top, to avoid inadvertent contamination of a neighbor or sanitation worker. Properly wash your hands, particularly before touching your face or eating or drinking. Hand sanitizers can take care of many viruses on your skin, but they won't kill parasite eggs. Other potential sources of poop and parasites: exposure to the sandbox are the sandbox, beaches, and park sand found under the around playgrounds. Sand is comfortable to lounge on, fun to construct into castles, and softens the impact of your fall of your play structure. But cats and other small mammals love to use it as a litter box since it's easy to dig and absorb moisture. Covering sandboxes when not in use and closely monitoring your environment at the beach and playground are key steps towards minimizing the risks of exposure for everyone. By keeping your pets on regular parasite preventing protocols, with annual testing for intestinal parasites and routine removal of fecal material from the environment, you can help to minimize the potential for these diseases among all the mammals in your environment, human, pet, and wild. The key points to remember to avoid parasites and minimize the impact to your ecosystem: pick waste up and safely throw it out regardless of where your pet poops. Sanitize your hands afterwards. Wash your hands before eating or touching your face while gardening or working in the yard. Avoid rinsing poop into the soil. Using rain or garden hose only removes the visible mess, not the microscopic issues. Make sure sandboxes are covered when not in use. Keep your pets on monthly intestinal parasite deworming schedules. And have your vet test your pet's poop annually for intestinal parasites. And this by The Conversation here under Creative Commons. On Science Alert, this is by Julia Wirtz, Clinical Assistant Professor of Small Animal Clinical Sciences, University of Florida. So you can see how very, very important this is. In one of the articles I was just scanning a few minutes ago, there was a man that was petting dogs, and he contacted the plague. Now this is okay. That's another thing, but you can understand how serious this matter is. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.